Alright, welcome to my Jurassic Park 30th Anniversary LEGO set reviews. Today we have set 76958, the Dilophosaurus Ambush. Now, this set I have some things to say about because, hopefully I put the link in here. I built my own version of this scene before. And there's only really like two ways that this set is better. We're going to talk about it. So, I mean, I didn't look at the last one. We should take a look at the box. It's full of pieces because I used it as my extra piece storage when I was doing the building. Yeah, it looks pretty nice. I guess I haven't talked about the box at all. Like, the box has a mixed feelings about. Like, I like the sort of, you know, the red and green design, but the sort of just complete cut and, like, weird slanted photo look to that, I just don't really vibe with it. I think it would have been better if there was some sort of smoother transition rather than it looking like some weird postcard. So there, I talked about the box. I think it's a little bit of a missed opportunity. Also, why is the Jurassic World T-Rex on here? I guess it makes sense. We'll get to that when the Visitor Center set review comes. Okay, enough talking about the box. Let's talk about the set, because there's some things to say. First of all, e-stock sign. This is fantastic. I am so happy they did this because the only thing my set was missing was an e-stock sign. And they made it spin. They made the sign spin. 10 out of 10 for this. Solid platinum metal. I like this. This is fantastic. Also, if you look in the back, you can see there's a little frog back there. That's supposed to represent whipped cream. There's a frog in every one of these sets. I forgot to mention that in the last video. So look for the frogs every time. Look at Dennis Nedry, and we've already gotten him before, so you kind of know what to expect. He looks probably as good as the old one does. I haven't taken a look at him in a while. Got the name badge, the open shirt, the raincoat. I do wish they came with a little piece, at least like a hood up, but we just get a hood print. I kind of wanted a piece of a hood, so I gotta put it over him like a hat. Got the scared face with water, and then we got him with the spit in his face. Pretty nice. The legs are imprinted, which is kind of disappointing, but you know what? It's fine. It's Dennis Nedry. And he will never look perfectly accurate because they don't have fat minifigures, you know? So yeah, it's Dennis Nedry. What did you expect? And then there's the Dilophosaurus. Now, I like this Dilo because it means we have both the adult and young versions, which I had on my set, which you can see here. Here we have the adult version. I don't remember which line this is from. I just remember that it exists and I saw it on my shelf, so I pulled it down for the video. So now we have both the large adult-sized Dilophosaurus, which is the size of an actual Dilophosaurus. I mean, this thing is huge. And then we got this little baby one, which still isn't as small as, you know, the movie Dilophosaurus, which is like yay big. But you know what? I like it. It looks cool. It looks nice. They use the smaller body that they have with the Pyroraptor and the Atrociraptor, and it really fits the Dilophosaurus. The colors are nice. They're beautiful. It's a fantastic Dilo. Solid gold medal for that one. And then we get to the part that I really don't like. The reason why this set is probably as pricey as it is, and it's one of the cheaper sets, and yet it's still decently pricey because of this. This is the vehicle design they went with. They made these vehicles unnecessarily large for no reason. I really can't see the reason why besides to pad the piece count. And I can say that because of this. This is my car that I made for that Lego set in specific. You might notice a couple things. Firstly, mine has windscreen wipers. Theirs does not, which is a little bit of an odd detail. Number two, I actually have the lights as the right color. This has a red background. That's just a small thing, but whatever. And most importantly, it's significantly smaller. And also, I have this little hook piece on the front, which this one also doesn't have. So you can actually recreate the scene by tying it around a log. And there's no log in this set either, that you can't tie the car around. And it feels like a log would have been perfectly fine. You could have had the pieces for a log if you didn't make the car so friggin' huge. I mean, again, it's like, if I line up the pieces, it's longer, it's fatter, it contains so many more pieces, and it's unnecessary, completely. And this is going to be my problem with a lot of these sets, is that, or at least with the ones with the Jurassic Park Jeep, it feels like the Jeep was made unnecessarily large just to pad piece counts. Or maybe they'll say, oh, it was to match the Ford Explorers, but the Ford Explorers are already larger vehicles in the movie compared to the Jeeps. The Jeeps are smaller. So while I'm fine with the Ford Explorer size, I don't understand why they had to make the Jeeps so massive. There is one thing I can say I like about this little detail of the sticker. You can see on one side, We have muddy footprints on the sidebar, whatever this thing is called, like a little step-up point where we can get to the car. It has human footprints. It decided it has a dinosaur footprint. That's the only good part about this car being so big, is that it got that little detail. But beyond that, it's really just the part that annoys me the most. And also, why did they have me put these studs in here? We never put anything on them. That's weird. Anyways, yeah, so, well, and I'm also going to say, I don't like all of these exposed studs. I really don't. Mine has none, because I think exposed studs look bad. Unless you're going for something really specific, like a rough-looking texture like rocks, but this isn't rock. This is supposed to be a car. It's supposed to be smooth. Why is it so bumpy? And overall, like, it's a fine representation of a Jurassic Park Jeep. It's not horrid, but it just feels unnecessarily large. It's got too many exposed studs. It doesn't even have any windscreen wipers for some reason. They couldn't even be bothered to put in like a piece for the side view mirrors, which I did. Look at that. I have adjustable side view mirrors. I guess because I have built one myself, I can actually compare it and I can see how I can do much better with less. That it really just makes me feel like this was just... I don't know. I guess you could say I'm being negative. Maybe other people will like it. Maybe people won't mind the exposed studs. Maybe the clever little sticker dino footprint will be fine for them. But it's just... It bothers me. And this is cheaper. So if you're going to get any one of these sets, then go ahead. This Dilo is fantastic. The E-Stock sign pretty much makes it worth it on its own just for me. Even then, it's a really cool little mini setup here. But the vehicle is where my problems start to arise with some of this stuff. And I just feel like they could have made the Jeeps smaller. It really doesn't feel necessary that they're as large as they are. It really... It's not that it feels unnecessary, it just is. Like... There's no getting around it. It really is just completely unnecessary for the vehicles to be this large. You can only seat one person in here anyways. They tried to make it look like you could, but the seats are right next to each other. You try to put two Lego characters next to each other and their arms are going to stop that from happening. You maybe put someone in the back seat, but why? Like, there doesn't seem to be a good reason. You can't fit the Dilo in here, so that wasn't made bigger for that reason. Funny enough, if we open up mine, you can see I also went with a two-seater design of the exact same kind. So, what it comes down to is just that it really is completely pointless that they made it the way that it is. So I haven't opened this in a while, so pieces all stuck together sometimes, and I did paint this by myself pretty poorly. That's the only bad part about my personal one, is that I painted this really poorly with way too much paint. But that's, yeah, that's what it is. It's one negative about mine. They didn't have a tan version of this when I made it. Probably still don't. But yeah, enough rambling. I'm just going to say it. I don't like this Jeep. I don't. It's too big. It's too unwieldy. It feels completely pointless to have the car be this massive. It was not necessary. And also, before anyone says anything, yes, it was recreated directly from the Lego game. I spawned in this vehicle in the game, and I turned it all around, finding all the pieces, and fit them together how I saw... how I saw them fit together. So yes, this is directly recreated from the Lego game on my own. I even flipped it over to see the bottom to get as best an accurate recreation as I could. So not only is this a better vehicle, but it was already in the Lego archives. And they just didn't use it. They just had to make this big, unwieldy, gigantic thing for no good reason besides to add more pieces and make it more expensive. That's my opinion. Overall, this set's still a solid gold medal. Like, I can complain about this, but it doesn't really drag down the score. It's just something that annoys me personally. The car isn't fantastic. I still give this, as, like I said, just for these bits. I would have paid like $10 just to have those and get rid of this car, which probably helps that it probably helps that I have my own already. But for people who don't, maybe this set's a bit more worth it. I think this looks better, honestly. Yeah. So it's a bit of a complicated opinion, but I still rate it highly, even if there are some minor quibbles that I'm sure won't bother most people, but they do bother me. As an avid Lego collector who buys all the Jurassic Park sets, I have weird opinions. But yeah, so still a tentative thumbs up. You know, if you like the Dilophosaurus scene, you probably should. The E-Stock sign is fantastic. Dilo's great. Nedry is... If you didn't get that big direct-to-consumer set, I guess this is the first time you can get Nedry, so, you know, go right ahead. It's nice and cheap compared to the other sets. And if you would prefer a better Lego car, there's definitely ways to make a smaller, more compact vehicle. I wonder if I could just... You have to wonder how possible it would be to just turn this into a smaller vehicle myself. Maybe I'll figure that out one day, but today is not that day. Today's the time to end the review and move on to the next one.